Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Manila Major Regional Qualifiers. We are here with the SEA Regional Qualifiers in one of our, I believe, third matchup, maybe fourth matchups, of course, of this entire tournament. We are here with Next Gen Vietnam versus Acion Arena Pro Team in a two-game series. Guys, if you missed out on the first game, you missed out on a barn burner. We had a little bit of trouble, unfortunately. I had to do it from my laptop alone in the conference room, which is not meant for a casting room. But
yeah, the room here was occupied
Yes.
with another long game, so Mott got thrown in the conference room like he wasn't important, but he is important, and then he had to solo cast a really long game. I got there 20 minutes in, and I was like, damn, I missed most of the game. I
Yeah.
don't even know what it's going to be about.
You did not miss most of
And
the game.
then I actually caught the last 80% because it was a 75
He caught
minute
everything
game,
important
so
in that game. And to rub it in also, Blitz came in holding a drumstick ice cream cone. He's just like, hey, dude. He's like, just talking to me while I'm casting. He's like, what are you doing? Where's your co-caster? I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you here? So I had to deal with that. Purge came through halfway to give me some help and to point out some things that I missed. But it was a very fun game. But we do have a draft. We're going to jump right in, of course, guys. It is game number 2. Next Gen Vietnam definitely really need this victory because they are currently 0-2 in terms of losing series. They have at least 1 point guaranteed because they did win game number 1, and what I think you could probably describe as a throw, Kevin, in that first game.
yeah, I would definitely say throw. I mean, as it got later and later in the game, I saw some weaknesses in their lineup. Basically, they only had one guy doing damage. It was pretty much just Ember Spirit.
Right.
Their Doom didn't scale at all, and I don't know if that's... I don't know, man. It was a 75-minute game. We only had Blink Dagger and Crimson Guard. There's a problem there.
Yeah.
Surely you can get something else.
That's a good point.
I don't know, man.
I felt like, yeah, that's a really good point. I felt like he should have had a lot more because at the end of the game, like, everyone was 6-slotted. Like, everyone was 6-slotted.
The
And he has,
Dire
like,
team-
2 slots left open,
Yeah.
including his TP scroll.
The Dire team really accelerated, but he just didn't get anything, and I don't understand that. I feel
Yeah.
like surely there's somewhere... You've got Devourer, you know. Even if you eat a creep boom, you get at least 117 gold, like, minimum. So that was a little confusing.
You know what it was? I feel like they were just in the base a lot of the time. They just couldn't get outside of their base. When there was pressure being put on by Next Gen Vietnam, when they got an Aegis, when they got a Cheese, when there was that advantage, they were just like, especially when their Ember was dead too, because their Ember was dead a lot, I think.
Really? Okay.
I mean, he died,
Well,
3 times since you had gotten there, like just casually, kind of.
And a lot of the other problem is also Ember's going to take most of the last hits anyways because he's going to Sleight of Fist it. So if he's the one taking your last hits, your other carries and stuff, like they don't have as much farm. The Ember took almost all the farm. He had like 2-3 items deep. He had
Right.
Divine Rapiers just chilling in his stash in case he lost them. It's like that farm could definitely go to your allies. But it basically came down to a super dive. They won a team fight. The Ember went up to the fountain area. Slaughter bought back, killed the Ember Spear, which gave him a huge amount of
Yes.
gold. And then he chased down the Doom. And it basically... Like, I think the Ember was way ahead by far.
Yes.
And then they had like 2 or 3 more heroes that were top net worth, and then it was the enemy team below that. But after those fights, it actually mixed in all of those cores, and they got some big items on some of their heroes. And
Yeah. I feel like that Slaughter was a big part of the end of that game, I think.
Yeah, he
I
played
think
really well.
he missed a couple of stuns at the end, but he set up so many things that it was really, really important for him to get that kill. And you're not kidding. He was right outside of the fountain, and the Slaughter was begging him to buy back. He bought back, blinked in, slithered and crushed him, got like 2 or 3 bashes. He was pretty much, I mean, it was physical damage against an Ember Spirit and no Lincoln Sphere up, so he just went straight through him anyways. And so you could argue that was the turning point of the entire
Easily
game.
was. Yeah, he should have just sat back, taken racks, maybe forced Slar buyback, then back up. But him dying there, plus getting the Doom killed, just changed everything.
Yeah, so, well, we'll see how Acion decide to approach this next game. Obviously, a loss here would be pretty detrimental to their, I think, chances in these qualifiers. But right now, they have to look forward to this game. They'll pick up the Vengeful Spirit. They'll grab the Doom again, so hopefully he can get a bit more items here. And they'll grab the Mirana, which we saw a lot of in the, I think, both Doom and Mirana, I think, in the Chinese qualifiers that I was watching earlier. It's been picked a lot.
They're everywhere. Honestly, both of those heroes are really popular ever. Doom, definitely one of the strongest 4-position roamers right now. He sometimes plays offlane as well, but I like him as a support. He can get a lot done. He transitions well if he gets farm, and in most cases, he's always useful. Doom is always going to be a great ability. It's really good against Darkseer, Phoenix, and Slark. This game, you don't really want to use it against Lion too much.
Right. And there's some slippery heroes for Next Gen Vietnam. They have the Slark with the Darkseer, the Iron Shell. And, yeah, I mean, this is going to be interesting. I haven't seen too much Slark. I've heard Echo Saber's pretty good on him. I mean, he doesn't really have proc abilities. You prefer maybe just to get your regular items perhaps on him.
Yeah, I like, we talked about this a lot on the multicast, but basically it's kind of like a substitute for Drum. Drum is kind of bad on agility heroes now because it only gives 3 agility. It's mostly an int, and strength item with some movement speed. And that stuff is good, but it's like more support focused,
Right.
or you have to be an int carry or maybe a strength carry that needs mana.
Right.
But strength carries that need mana, they can get Echo Saber and they get 25 damage.
Yes.
They get 10 int and they get 75% mana regen. It's like the perfect
Yeah.
item for heroes that need a little bit of mana but also want some HP in the early game. So it works on Slark, but it gets really good when you get like a Basher, because then you're actually getting double value from the 2 items, because it gives you upfront attack speed. That way you can get the bash as you initiate, for example.
It's just on procs in general, I think, is like, a crit is good, but the bash, like we've seen Voids get it, not in like any of these games, any of these qualifier games, but I've seen a lot in pubs where Voids will get it, they'll get double bashes. Waga talks pretty big about Echo Saber on that particular hero. I mean, just in general.
Yep.
I was surprised that the Wraith King maybe didn't even consider it. I don't know if he was thinking, okay, I maybe need to get this this Echo Saber here. He had other items. He went for, so his build was like Treads, Blink, Radiance into Blade Mail, which I thought was interesting.
I didn't like that build at all versus Ember Spirit, because Ember does largely magic damage in the early game, so that means you're reflecting magic damage back to him, which means all it's going to do is kill his Flame Guard.
Yes.
And then once Flame Guard's dead, where's the magic damage coming from? Blade Mail now sucks. Like, it just didn't make any sense. And actually, the Flame Guard completely doesn't do, like, the Blade Mail doesn't do anything. Plus, then you have Radiance, again, doing magic damage. And yeah, you're stopping Blink Daggers. And yeah, it's a cool build because Blade Mail is now better than it used to be. But that build is just not the right build at all. I think just go Armlet. Like, Armlet's so good.
Yes, I was thinking that exact same thing, and that's why the Slaughter did so well too, is because he had Armlet early on in the game. He had like Blink Armlet is what he went.
Yeah, like how does Radiance synergize with your Slaughter or amp damage? Like you have no attacks. He even had a late game. I was like, why doesn't he sell that and buy an Abyssal Blade or something?
Yes.
Like that way he could like blink, stun, and then stun again. It's like the best feature of Wraith King. It's like you've got a stun built in. If you get Abyssal, you get a guaranteed 4-second stun, assuming you're Wraithfire Blast lines, of course. But yeah, the itemization in that game is a
all over, as a whole.
A little bit weird, but definitely the Wraith King build I thought was way off against an Ember Spirit. Doesn't work
well. We'll see if Tengu's going to be playing the Slark this particular game. We'll wait and see what he decides to pick up for his items, if he's going to be on that particular hero. Looking at it right now, they have the Lion as a sheer support. The Darkseer is probably going to be put in the off lane once again. Phoenix as a support again, and this is a hero you're familiar with as a support. I've seen you play it throughout your open qualifier run. What do you think about Phoenix as a support, in particular in this game?
It's a little iffy against Puck, because Puck can burst him down pretty well. Maybe Mirana, same kind of thing, but the Egg is really good, and Sunray is super OP. You can heal your ally while also doing damage to your opponent, so against a tanky hero like Doom, it's pretty useful. I don't like it a huge amount against Puck. I guess you can stop Phase Shift Blinks pretty easily, because it puts an AoE of damage down, so it's kind of cool there, but it's alright. I don't see a ton of synergy between their other heroes, is maybe my biggest problem with Phoenix here, is that there isn't really that much to protect his Egg, for example, like maybe Earth Spike and Vacuum, but that's not that much, I feel like. So I don't really see how it fits in the lineup here.
I think that's why we saw a lot of the Chinese teams like RTK, they would pick up the Axe, so he could like Blink Call, and then you could Phoenix Egg on top of that.
Or you can Sunray on top of it even. Like even if you don't have 6, or if you don't want a 6, then you're healing Axe while also dealing damage to them. It's really synergistic there. Yeah, grab tanky cores that can aggro your opponents, and then Sunray on both.
Yeah.
It's a great way to deal with it.
Well, the other last pick, it is going to be their mid laner, it looks like, for Next Gen Vietnam, and it's going to be a Puck matchup versus, well, somebody. We'll see who it's going to be. It's not TA that's been banned out. There's a couple of other mid lane bans here as well, but...
Well, they grab an Earthshaker last as well. This could be 2 supports of Earthshaker Avenge. Very defensive. Could work. Dragonite is the pick, though, so he's going to be a tanky mid. It sort of works against Puck, just really high armor, hard to harass the guy, and overall really good mid-game fights. So I do kind of like... Yeah, I like the draft of Next Gen quite a bit. It's going to be very good for invading Radiant jungle. They can go around getting kills. Dragonite can be the center of damage, but he's mostly survivable. I guess there is a lot of magic nuke coming out of the Radiant team, so that might be a bit of a problem for him, but I definitely like the lineup. I think it's put together well now. The Dragonite stun is going to be a great lead up for things like the Phoenix Sunray, the Dragonite up in the front taking the brunt of the damage while also creating some space for the Slark. That's going to be like 2 heroes that are hard to kill, and with the backup of Darkseer, Phoenix, Lion, I think they're going to be able to cover them well enough, and then get eggs off and things like that.
We'll see how things turn out here as we're jumping underway. I think Blaze was talking earlier about how this encoding PC was, for some reason, a little bit slow. Not sure why. Also, oh yeah, this is toggled. That's why it was so weird. I was wondering. the assisted broadcast. So I'm using Blaze's config currently. It's a little bit strange. I'm getting used to it. We're now in the BTS 3 stream, which is, of course, it's a nice casting. By the way, just want to point out, this studio is absolutely fantastic. Everything about it is pretty insane. So good stuff there. But
Would you say you joined the wrong studio mod?
I don't think I would ever say that. No, no, not in my life. I have too much fun on Moonduck to say that.
Okay. You could have just taken the shot, man. It's totally okay. I get it.
I mean, listen.
I get it. We suck.
I have to deal with Slack, so I guess there's that. But
Yeah, dude. We got Slack's prime value right there. Ooh,
Fisher
it is
comes
gonna
out.
land. Okay, and he's going to live unless...
Arrow, ooh, just misses. Tengu's able to sidestep it barely, and they were looking for blood. I mean, ACA were trying to find something. They had the Venge leading up front. The Fisher came out. He's looking for that stun. He can't find it. And
yeah, it was just good reaction time from the Slark.
oh, that's not good. All right.
Sometimes this happens. Routers die when they're boot camping, for example. So, yeah, they needed to land the Fissure before it got the pounce off. If they did that, they could have led into the Venge stun, into the Arrow, and very possibly killed him. But, just a little unfortunate timing. Sorry?
Would you skill up Infernal Blade there if you're looking for that kill? Or do you just go... I mean, because not going Devour level 1 I feel like might be detrimental to your... But if you get the kill, it's not... I don't know if it's worth it.
Yeah, a lot of times it's not worth it. It gets you gold or gets somebody gold, but then all of a sudden it kills your first level. It's kind of like, do you skill Frostblast on Lich level 1 if there's level 1 fight? And in most cases, you probably shouldn't because, okay, maybe you have a good fight, but now your laning stage is harder, and that's what Lich is supposed to do. Then you have to, they're sapping experience to 2, and then everything gets like kind of a pain in the butt. Well,
we have a reconnect coming into the game from ACA, and it looks like they will not be successful in finding kills. Somehow, some way, it looks like my config has found its way into this particular machine, as everything that I wanted to do is doing just fine. So that's great. That's good news. My assisted camera hotkey is there, which shouldn't be, which makes this a whole lot easier. Because following an Ember Spirit, let me tell you, as an observer following an Ember Spirit on a laptop that you're not really familiar with, it's freaking impossible. He's all over the map. I was missing things left and right. It wasn't good, but... the laments of the Observer are over, and we're into the game right now. And it looks like I think we're going to see contention of the top room from ACA, where the Puck will probably be grabbing this. And again, the experience changed pretty big, but we'll see how things go.
I like that the Slark's doing this high ground thing. I think this could be done a bit more often. If they go for it, they actually are
good Earth Spike. Fisher comes out. They went for the swoop steal.
Well,
unsuccessful.
That was actually kind of smart for them to Fissure there, because if they would have caught the Phoenix, he would have stopped diving, and then they might have been able to kill him. Very likely, actually. He's very slow, low armor. So good attempt on the Fissure there. Although, I'm going to say, level 1 dive, is it worth it for a bounty rune? And the answer is, hell no, that was really stupid. The dive there, absolutely not worth it. If
you would rather have Sunray at this point?
It's 100 gold. You don't even get experience anymore.
Yeah,
not
that's the thing.
Because now if the fight happens, what's he going to do? Dive for 40 magic damage? That's
not good.
Awful.
Yeah, that's not good.
Absolutely awful.
Yeah, Sunray, even Spirits might have been a better pickup, but honestly... the experience change is the big thing, because you could justify because you get a quick level 2 and then boom, you're right into your Sunray anyways, especially with a pull, but that's not the case. He has to wait a full, and he's trilating this too. Yes, you do have the line who's heading elsewhere right now, but he's just going to swoop in and just do nothing in the process.
The dive to possibly aggro the side pull, that was
maybe. He missed it regardless. But the pull actually, it doesn't go to the Centaurs. I'm not sure if that was intentional or not. They're going to get it in favor of them by... Oh, look at this different heave. He's in trouble. One more right click. He's going to Fairy Fire up and stay alive. I just caught mid in time and found that. He will stay alive. Meanwhile, the Puck will phase shift at least one right click. Dr. Pushin does not have stun for 7 seconds, so that should be the end of the engagement. But the Fissure comes out, perhaps not on the Loser Orbit. Should be on cooldown. No, it comes off. He just misses. He's going to jaunt through Earth Spike, whiffed by Dr. Pushin. That would have saved his life, maybe, but he'll fall to the last right click coming out from the Puck. And well played. Good rotation from Fly Solo. He walked all the way down from top to get that done.
Yeah, the Earthshaker's been kind of all over the place, but he's definitely accomplished a lot here. Fast boots for him, fast boots for Lion, and now things are going to go about even here.
Mid lane, another Fisher's going to come out. Different heave. He's going to have to go around, but he will dodge to the Lucifer up, so without that damage, which is really important because you have Dragon Blood, and there's a lot of armor there. It's going to be tough to bring him down. The Earth Spike, it'll hit on Fly Solo. If it hits on Puck, maybe they could turn that into a kill with Breathe Fire. It is only level 1, but still. It saves the life of the DK. I think that's all they really want at this point.
What a tough little fight here. Bottle's already up for Puck. He picks up a bounty rune, and it's going to be a regen for Dragon Knight.
That's pretty huge.
He needs that right now.
Yeah, he really does. They couldn't send anybody else. There's nobody bottom to send to actually pick that up. The The line was obviously, or excuse me, the Earthshaker was fighting mid. They have the aggressive tri-lane going on, which, by the way, we haven't talked about this, but this is an aggro tri-lane coming out from the side of ACA, the Punoi squad.
Yeah, those almost never happen anymore. Like, I was thinking about the other day, I was like, oh, maybe we should aggressive tri-lane. I was like, nobody ever aggressive tri-lanes anymore. And there's a reason. It's very dangerous. If it doesn't go well, then you get really far behind in terms of experience and sometimes even levels. Like, they've got decent last hits on the Mirana. She's got 12 versus the 6 of Slark, so they've limited his farming, but he's got way more levels than she does.
Yes. And you can almost, I feel like you could justify an aggressive dual lane more than an aggressive tri-lane in a lot of situations because there are so many good aggro dual lane combinations now, especially now with Lich, too, being back in the game. So that's another thing to keep in mind. But
yeah. So it's basically just a little fight about pulls and stuff. The Dire team blocked out the large camp, and now they're doing stack pulls on the small camp to get some experience advantage here. Slark's going to pick up 4, so while he doesn't have as much farm, if he just gets like level 5, level 7, then he can just go hit up the jungle anyways, and it's going to be all good.
I did like the fact the line was around mid because he knew that without Sunray, they couldn't have gotten anything done. Sure, maybe if he was there, he could help him get more last hits on the Slark, but you don't really know. Magical is level 2 now, so he has Sunray. It's on level 1, but you can never really underestimate level 1 Sunray. It's percentage based, so it's pretty nice.
Yeah, it's really good nuke, actually. Pure damage as well, so just kind of cuts through people.
Unexpectedly, too. I think that damage is... You don't expect it to come out, especially at the beginning of the game, but anyway.
Yeah.
There is 25 last hits going for this Darkseer right now, which is pretty damn good. He did have some help. The line did come down for a bit, but he couldn't find anything. They were trying to find some aggressive play, but they're going to find the Doom down here. He'll pop his Scorched Earth, he'll head on out. They didn't have mana, I think, for a Dragon Tail. He had used it already anyway. And it's just a bit of zoning play coming out from both squads.
Slightly weird build on him. He's actually on 2 levels in Infernal Blade.
I saw this before. I don't know where.
Does a slightly higher... Well, actually does double the max HP as damage. So we're talking... What? It's like 5% more HP. It's not much. I don't know if I can justify this extra skill point here. I think Scorched Earth is clearly better.
I've definitely seen this build before, the 2 points in Infernal Blade, but I don't know where it was. But yeah, it's interesting. Meanwhile, Arrow, they were fishing for it top. Tenyu is going to have to leap back, and yeah, they really did stifle his farm. He's level 12, or excuse me, 12 last hits. He's level 4. Experience-wise, they've done a pretty good job in keeping it even. But here we go. Sunray's going to come out. They get off the Hex. The Earth Spike about to go, but they can't get it off in time as the Fisher comes into play. And here comes Tengu. He's got no leap for 3 seconds. Fly Solo will back up, and it turns into just a little bit of footsie from both teams. So both of them will survive. A really good Fisher coming out.
Yeah. 3 heroes, man, and it stopped the Sunray.
Yes.
That was perfect. They needed to get a pounce on somebody, though, and they messed that up. So once the pounce is missed, you don't have nearly as much time to go for those kills, and the Fissure just basically interrupts whatever little time you did have.
But I do want to point out, by the way, that this Earthshaker is also very close to Arcanes if he wants it. He's got 850 gold, which is pretty big. It's pretty crucial at this point. So
yeah, that's really good for him, actually.
Unless he decides to go some other weird build or item. Magic Missile's going to come out. They Dark Pact, and it just actually takes off the Fisher, but the arrow almost snipes him. He's able to sidestep it again, and meanwhile, the Phoenix is down below 100 HP as well. Wow. The last right click with Wave of Terror almost did 100 damage to kill him. He had 3 HP at the tail end there.
I think that was a 1. I saw a 1 for sure.
God.
I'm pretty sure I saw a 1.
That Phoenix is praying to whatever god and thanking him because he should not be alive right now. Meanwhile, Dr. Pushian is pushing his luck, sitting up here.
And he stacked on the way back. What a baller, dude.
Did he really?
Yeah, he did. He
what a guy.
What a cool guy.
That's
it's kind of a cool gank. The Venge just wrapped around. It's nice to be able to do that at nighttime. You can come from the top, and they don't necessarily see you coming that way.
Fisher comes out. Dr. Pushian, Magic Missile will go through. They finally should find a kill here. He gets off a great Earth Spike on it, too. But the Star Storm and right clicks from Gabi were enough to get that kill. So, again, he stayed. I was wondering if that was maybe the best idea with how aggressive Acion were playing up here, and they will find that kill. But with that, I want to ask the question, the inevitable question, what are the odds that this Miranda goes for Aghanim Scepter? What do you think?
100%.
Yeah, that's what I thought you would say.
I feel like people are only picking her right now because of that change. I mean, I don't think she got buffed other than that. It was literally the only change. So
yes.
Very likely that if they are picking the hero, they're going to justify the eggs.
Well, we'll see how fast she can farm with it, how much she can get done with it. So far, it's been pretty good. So far, a lot of people have been having a good time. So I have a very good feeling about the Mirana Axe coming out. Her last hits, 29, pretty damn solid, especially for that aggro tri-lane. They're going to set up a gank bottom, though, as they TP in the puck. They're looking with a Dream Coil. They'll find DBB, and they doom him as well. If they don't find a kill here, if he gets denied or something, it'd be pretty damn bad. But this last right click and tick from Doom will get the job done, and it will be the purple player Skembrella, who will pick up the kill, and a Midas on top of that. The safe lane farming Doom, who is now up to 37 last hits. And Dr. Pushin finds a kill on the Earthshaker mid with a gank rotation coming in with the TK as well.
He does actually max out the Infernal Blade right away. So I think he's adjusting his build this way because it gives him a decent solution against the Dragon Knight. Normally a hero very difficult to kill. Oh, got a Mirana kill top.
Wow.
Land the pounce, a little bit of damage there, and a Sunray. You know,
That's good. They knew that the heroes weren't there in the top lane. They were rotating elsewhere for ganks, whether it was mid. They saw the Earthshaker was dead. They had an option to go on her and she falls. So, yeah, that's huge. That's a huge kill. I mean, they needed something because, even now they're using Sunrays to heal up for Tengu. I mean, Magical is just like giving his body, sacrificing himself to find kills and to make this lane easier for Tengu, but it's really not.
Earthshaker could lead with the fissure here.
It's gonna barely hit. The arrow was off the mark though. Magic Missile will go. Dark Pack doesn't have mana for it. He's gonna go for the Starstorm, and they get the last right click. The Sunray heal just wasn't enough, and this aggressive play, even with missing that arrow, he still fishes for a kill and finds it with the newly minted phase boots as well.
And it's that increased double range for the double Starstorm there. He happened to be within range, and he got the double hit off on the Slark. I really didn't think he was going to get that kill, but pretty big buff skill actually now. It does a lot of damage.
Yeah. This Mirana continues to farm pretty well after that death, which is going to put her back. Still top 3 net worth coming out for Acion Arena, but I've seen this before. I've seen them have leads, and they have thrown it away, but that's...
Lion's ready to wrap around top. He is level 4, puts the sentry down.
They'll drop a sentry. They'll get ready to go. Slark's will TP in. They'll get some extra help as well. They've got 4 heroes up in the top lane. They even bring in the Darkseer. Magical's invised up as well with the smoke. Yeah, that Hex, the Earth Spike, they'll catch it. There's the Icarus dive. The arrow will come through. It'll miss, but they have to go in Ishin now. Good Magic Missile. The Dark Pack comes out at a beautiful time. They should still find at least this Venge. They could have found more, though. With that Hex, they pushed them all the way back to that Tier 1 tower, and they rotated every single hero for that kill. And guess what? Different Heave didn't even get involved. I don't even think he got assist gold for it.
That's okay. He's got his ulti up. He's ready to push, basically. And it looks like, okay, he's going treads. I was going to say fast blink, maybe, but with the fast treads, he's going to pop his ulti here, going to try to kill this tower as fast as possible. I don't completely agree with the fact that he's doing this in offlane. I think he rotated maybe for the fight, but I mean, he could be doing this mid. His tower is down to 430 HP, and the Puck's tower actually has an extra 400. So I don't like the fact that he rotated the offlane to do this. Why not do it in his mid lane instead? That tower's a lot more important.
I think it's because they thought that fight was going to be bigger. Like, okay, we need all 5 here. We're going to take a full 5-on-5 fight.
Man, I don't know. I really feel like he could have canceled it. Like, it seemed right away, okay, they're mostly running. A full engagement is going to be pretty difficult.
Yeah.
Now he uses his ulti, attacks top twice. It goes pretty low, but now he's walking slowly mid, and now he's not going to be able to take the mid.
Yeah, he's missing out on a lot of farm, whereas I don't think the Puck is really missing. I mean, he rotated up too, but they're smoked up, and they're going to try to find a kill. And by the way, if they find a kill here, this is Puck's Blink Dagger at about 10 minutes in the game, which is a pretty good timing. They're going to run right into Magical. The Fissure will go first. They stack the stuns with the Magic Missile, but they find it nonetheless. They get the Earth Spike off into Isham from NG, but here we go. They still have Waning Rift up, actually Dream Coil up. They will bring down at least the Vengeful Spirit. G's going to head out. He's got Phase Shift and Illusion Orb still at the ready. He will get his Blink within probably this creep wave, and that'll be good. But they TP bottom instead. They're looking for this doomed up DBB Darkseer who will tick down to the Doom yet again, second time in a row. And, well, he's farming well, and he's top in net worth, actually, that Doom, so.
Yeah, he's been doing really well. He hasn't been extremely greedy, though. He does only have 1 point in Devour, mostly a Tandem Midas, so he's just got a ton of damage, and I'm sure Darkseer can't handle this at all. You Doom somebody, you cast 1 Infernal Blade and Scorched Earth them, and they just die. Almost any hero just dies.
Yeah. Meanwhile, there's not really, they took down that Tier 1 tower, so maybe Tengu has some, if they keep the wave pushed back towards the Tier 2, he has a place to farm, but this allows them to invade the jungle a bit easier. He picked up a Midas, by the way, no treads or anything, no Achille even, so he's clearly lacking in farm himself. He's right around halfway in terms of net worth. This is not quite the start NG had with their safe laner last game. Tengu getting plenty of farm, plenty of last hits, top in net worth. They had that to kind of, you know, look back on, but they don't have that this game.
Yeah, he was aggressively trialing though, so it's a little tough.
Yeah.
He's 2-1-1. His CS is a bit low, but he will catch up, and he will farm faster than the Doom most likely. I mean, Doom's got Devour, but Slark's easily going to neutral faster and push out creep waves a bit faster.
They scan bottom. Dr. Pushin sitting in the tree line slyly. That was a Radiant scan, by the way. That arrow's going to hit him. You've got to be joking. They know he's there now. They're going to right-click him, jump in, get a Starstorm. Just a classic arrow, just in the tree line. They must have known he was there somehow. I don't know if the scan certainly didn't catch him, but still.
They have a ward on the. This is a. Maybe this ward caught him. It's been up for 20 seconds. Probably not. Who knows?
Either way, that's
Mad
nice.
hacks.
That's a nice little bit of gold going the way of the Miranda, who has picked up the Ogre Club, interestingly.
That's interesting, man. You know this is an Ags.
Yeah, I mean, it's just weird because I feel like there's so many, you could go for the point booster first, you could go for raw strength if you want. It's strange to me.
Yeah, technically the Ogre Club is better for the survivability
Yes.
than a point booster is now. Because point booster now gives 175 and an Ogre Club gives you 200.
Yeah.
Slightly different than the past.
Dreamcoil's going to go, and Different Heave's in trouble. He's going to pop the Elder Dragon for me. Gets the stun off in time, but the Doom should come inevitably. Here comes the Sunray. Good Earth Spike. They're stun locking him. Swap back, and now they lose the bench immediately. Blink out and phase shift away. Lose Europe away. They jaunt away from G. He'll make it away, and looks like Tengu is looking for a chase. I don't think they can really fight this. They're not fast enough, but still they get at least a free kill on the bench. But again, they all rotate to try to find a kill there. If they get a tower out of this, then sure, and they should because the Elder Dragon form was just used. He doesn't have a drum charge for another 5 seconds. He could get it without it. The Illusory Orb will clear out the creep wave with the Fisher. They have to Dark Pact it off. Good heals from at least the Sunray, but they have to wait for the next creep wave and might not even get this tower, actually.
That was pretty huge that they kept him alive, though. I thought he was 100% dead, but a really quick thinking. See the Doom coming. He ultied and stunned him, and actually a weird skill build, too, is Dragon Tail's being maxed.
Yeah,
He's
that's...
ignoring Dragon Blood. I think it's because ACA has so much magic damage that he knows that those extra points of armor aren't going to make that big of a difference.
Yeah.
So he'd rather just have a really high uptime for Dragon Tail stun.
I mean, everything is magic damage with the exception of Mirana's right click, which you don't really consider. And while she's getting ganked, Earth Spike's going to come out the Sunray. Good smoke. They smoked right behind their Tier 1 tower. They said we could have gone mid, but instead, sure, we'll trade a Tier 1 tower away, maybe. The Glyph's going to come out. They have TPs coming into the Tier 2, but I don't think they're going to deny this. Tengu walks up, he probably dies. The Fisher came through, it actually missed. Tengu will be able to get out, and so they get that Tier 1. It's the Venge who gets the last hit. Not who they probably wanted to give it to. Still, it is a Tier 1 tower for a Mirana trade, interestingly enough. They do see Different Heave. They have that Observer Ward. They get the Dream Coil off. He has no Elder Dragon. He'll try to TP out. The Fisher will go, cancel the TP. Waiting Rift, Sunray, vacuum onto the cliff, at least for one. Now they jump through. They even use the Doom on Different Heave. Now the Figure comes out. G will have to use at least his stick to keep up. The mech comes through. Different Heave will stay alive. The Surge comes out, but finally the Blink in. They get the Illusory off, and that will be the kill. Phoenix Eggs drop down to the ground. They lose the Vengeful Spirit. A 1-for-1 exchange. Fly solo now. He looks to be on the tail end of escape, and now the arrow will come out. It'll hit perfectly at Tengu, but he's going to Dark Pact it off. Sunray, Fisher block, not going to be there, but they jump back in. Echo Slam, wasted still. They get the kill. Beautifully under the select. They'll find a third. That'll be the line. They use the Moonlight Shadow. DBB in some trouble. He's going to try to surge himself away, but there's the Infernal Blade maxed out, doing more than enough damage to make a kill spree. As G gets a triple. What a turnaround. What a counter initiation. This puck juking and jiving all over. If they're not done, they might even get a team whip. They will get one. It looks like last right click of the Dream Coil just comes off cooldown after being used at the beginning of the fight. An ultra kill for the puck.
Does he have an Arcane Rune or something?
He did. I think he got an Arcane Rune.
That fight started with the Dream Coil. There's no way that he didn't have an Arcane Rune.
I was confused for a moment. I remember him picking up an Arcane Rune, though.
What an incredible fight, though. It looks so good for the Dire team, but then all of a sudden, that arrow into the Slark to get him low, and then the huge combo coming from the puck to really blow him up. And that's when everything changed, and it just became a terrible situation. I think the Phoenix misplayed that fight pretty bad, though. Like, he did Sunray the Dragonite for a long time, but he just kind of ultied in place. I really wish he would have done a more aggressive Supernova. It was almost entirely defensive. It did some damage to the Vengeful Spear, but that's it. Who cares? It's Avenge. You need to place that in. And you need to prevent some of those cores from going on your cores, and he didn't do any of that. He just refreshed his cooldowns, basically, and prepped for another Sunray that never got used.
Yes, and I think ACI was back far enough that he could have gotten away with maybe a more aggressive dive into Supernova, but... Well, they're going to find another kill. They just got one on the line top, and then they just Fisher, Lucior of Waiting Rift. That was without the Dagon, by the way, which G had just picked up. He killed the Lion by himself, which is not super shocking, considering how this game has gone for G on the puck.
That's a really unfortunate way to die at this stage in the game. 16 minutes in, your Slark is dying to a support Earthshaker who happens to have a Blink Dagger. Like, that's just not good. And this is the problem with this Midas that he went this game, is because ACA actually have really good offensive heroes that can get those kills. And they can pressure him by him not having a Shadow Blade. If he had Shadow Blade, for example, he would be going around getting kills right now, or looking for kills at least.
Yeah.
But he can't do that with Midas. He's got to farm that next item, and he's being delayed.
Yeah, I mean, net worth, again, he's halfway up, but it really, that's not the story that tells. I mean, it's like 5,000 of what, 8,000 of the puck, 8,800 is almost 9,000. He buys his Dagon 2, I believe, is coming out on the courier. In fact, it is. And like you talked about, there's a Blink Dagger already on this Earthshaker, which is pretty outstanding to me. Acion, he's been playing the 5 support, the 6 support, if you will, so he's bottom of the net worth, but everyone else is having a great time. The Doom is second in net worth, and he was up against that Darkseer. He wasn't having a good time at the get-go, but now he's got a mech. He's got 1,300 gold. We'll see at least a Moonlight Shadow. Might have been scouted out by the Observer Ward over towards that Roche pit.
They scanned it. They did catch him in the scan. So Dire team does know that the Radiant team is there. Radiant team scanned for Dire, did not find them.
They're still going to go up to high ground, and Different Heave is not in a good spot. He has a TP scroll, and he needs to get out now. But the Blink Echo onto 2. The Fish of the Illusion. Starstorm, they throw everything at him. They die almost instantly. Dear Lord, see you later.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do about that. Earthshaker has played amazing in this game, honestly.
Yes.
Setting up lots of kills early game, transitioning into a stupidly fast Blink Dagger. And right there, man, the double Echo combo, that's game winning. If you just get chanced on like that, it's over. You're all dead.
There's nothing, yeah, they were, in fact, both of them were dead. There was nothing they could do at that point. The DK, for how tanky he is, died extraordinarily fast, whether it was due to the Dagon, whether it was due to everything on top of it. There's now an Aghanim Scepter, by the way, on Gabi, so that's just something to keep in mind, which is pretty freaking nice. And they're going to start they don't have necessarily the best tower push, much like last game, but I don't think they're... This game feels a little bit less unthrowable than last game does, so...
It's looking really good for them, definitely. They have tons of nukes. Kind of just comes down to Slark getting his big item and seeing if he can pick off on bench repeatedly.
We'll wait and see if that's the case. He's trying to get a tier 1 tower. He can't even get that out of him. The Dark Pack came through. He knew he was about to get Fisher, and the animation went, but he didn't get it. He'll deny it, by the way. Fly Solo will deny that tier 1 tower. And Acion Arena are in just such a good spot. We saw Next Generation. They were able to take Roche as a way of getting back into the game. They're kind of posturing around it now. I don't know if that's the best play. They don't have a great Roche taking lineup, especially with Elder Dragon form down. They're not going to do it. They're going to head bottom together and try to find at least a semblance of farm with a tier 1 tower. And Tengu is finally going for the Shadow Blade, but it might be a little bit late, like you talked about.
Yeah, I mean, 20 minutes in, you want to get this like 5 minutes earlier. Now if he tries to kill Mirana, for example, she's got eggs already. It's going to be a lot harder.
On top of the strength you get from the Ogre Club, you're getting that point booster as well, so the health that you're getting is pretty nice. She's pretty tanky. 1,400 is still not the most HP in the world, but it's enough, and she'll start going to work on the Tier 2 tower. With the rest of her friends, the trade is going to come through. Definitely not a good trade for Next Generation. They do have the Elder Dragon form. He did not pop the Arcane Root before using his Elder Dragon form, which I found interesting.
Yeah, well, if he does have Arcane Rune, though, and he activates it, he can almost permanently stun, probably.
That's a good point.
Not permanently, but... I'm not sure what the numbers are, I can't remember. It'll be pretty good off time, so that's definitely cool.
Don't ask me about numbers at this point. By the way, there's a double danger at the bottom rune spot, and it looks like it's going to be... They thought about rushing for a second.
Yeah, he doesn't want to use his Arcane, though, because the stun... And breathe fire lowering that cooldown would be pretty big.
They just gave it to the line. That's not great, but
normal.
That's a Yule's now done for the Mirana too. Because why not? You need to get out of a bad situation. You get pounced or something. You just Yule's yourself and you're good to go. Or you Yule's with the Slark.
Yeah, the pounce is way too big of a Mirana counter. You actually can't do anything. If he lands the pounce on you, you just die, unless you can TP out. So by having Yules, at least he can protect himself for 2.5 seconds. It's actually one of the biggest counters against Slark. Because also, it's not just about you being leashed, it's also about when Slark plans to do his Dark Pack damage. If you dodge that, it basically stops the large brunt of his nukes in that little piece of time.
Magical will go ahead and TP out. He was way behind enemy lines. He'll make it away. I don't know if you should really worry about the Slark's damage. I mean, I guess with Dark Pact it'll be a bit more now with his Shadow Blade picked up as well. But we'll wait and see how effective that's actually going to be. Anyways, they're going to take this tier 2 with little resistance coming out from Next Generation. It's not looking great. I mean, they could use some big back walls into Supernovas, into Earth Spike Ravages. Like, they're already getting ready to go high ground at this point. I don't blame them. They didn't even take Roche. They don't need to. They have a Doom with Guardian Greaves and a Vitality Booster on the front line with a Midas helping them just keep that farm. They have plenty of damage. They've jumped in. They're looking for that kill. They actually get it with a jaunt out, and he gets the Dagon off beforehand, too, which was pretty huge. Dear God, he died almost instantly.
Yeah, Puck's pretty farmed right now.
I'd say
Dagon
so.
three.
Yeah.
Double combo. Arrow. Oh, almost landing on line.
That line is
And
trying its best to not get hit by any ability.
The tower
They're gonna
goes.
just keep going, right? They've used Guarding Grip, so maybe not. They have a full creep wave ready. Different Heaves already used his Elder Dragon form. It's gonna be down and on cooldown in a little bit here. They're gonna at least put chip damage onto this melee Rax. An arrow's gonna come through fishing, missing wildly. Starstorm will clear out the creep wave almost instantly. Meanwhile, wrapping around is Tengu. There is
the fake back.
no sentry. Ooh, the Mirana ulti into fight. There's a sentry, but it's not in range. They're going to run right in. They're going to find Magical. He is dead instantly. They get the silence onto both, but great backing, but the Duke comes out. Boom, double Echo Slam. They get off the enchant, the Fisher as well. Dakin comes out one more time. Different Heave, as tanky as he is. He will fall instantly. The Darkseer forced to buy back after vacuuming. His wall was ready. He couldn't drop it down. He died so damn quickly. And that's going to be that. That's a full set of racks. You called it. The fake back came through. They walk right in. The Sentry Ward was not placed in a great spot for NG. And they really need a series win, and it's looking like that's not going to be the case here, Purge.
Yeah, they played pretty commanding in this game for sure.
Oh, there's the vac wall. It's good damage, but they need more. They get off a nice Dark Pack, pounce, and good swap back. If they can't get a single kill off the back end of it, you might as well just think twice about doing whatever it is that you want to do. I don't know.
They haven't been able to get an egg off in the last two fights. Phoenix died, so they had to play defensive, and then when Phoenix comes alive again and they walk in invis, they kill Phoenix first. So no egg, most of NG's team fight, and that's going to make it very, very difficult. More items picked up. Veil of Discord for the Puck.
Oh my
will
God.
enhance his Dagon 4 now. That's pretty good to have.
This DK still doesn't have his BKB. He'll probably have it by the next time they fight, luckily, but everyone else will die so damn fast that it might not matter.
At this point, it's such a bad item, it doesn't even do that much. If Earthshaker engages first before BKB, boom, he dies. Because they're always going to focus him.
That's almost certainly going to happen now with the mobility that he has. He has a Force Staff and a Blink Dagger, so he could force Blink Initiate if he really wants to. You know, he has such good catch with Fisher if he doesn't have that range, which he will in almost every circumstance. Yeah, you might be able to Glimmer Cape him long enough to keep him alive, but I don't even think that's the case, which somehow an arrow is going to find its way on a different Heave. I don't think they can get that. They're looking for it. They're going to leap up. They're going to blink up with Gabi, and he's going to find that kill. He just picked up that blink. Hey, Lucy Orb jaunted in. Yeah, he did not use that Dagon, by the way. He still's got it, and so that's like, if you're next generation, like, that's a cannon I don't want to have to deal with. They all back into the base, and it looks like Acion will probably put pressure on the tier 3, and more than likely, and another arrow hits on the DBB, excuse me. The Sunray, he will heal him up. Now the pounce comes through. He has to immediately Shadow Dance. Great Earth Spike, though, and they actually lose the Venge. Still, though, a Doom comes out into Tengu, the Inferno Blade, the Starstorm, the Dream Coil hits on it, too. Different Heave does not have that BKB yet. The Yules will come out. Good Sunray. The wall's down. Echo Slam comes out, though, and now this is trouble. Gabi jumps back in. He gets another Starstorm beautifully. They wipe the entire team. They wipe the floor with them Purge, and that should be the end of it all. It should be at least a 1-1 tie here, and Acion Arena will take game number 2.
Yeah, that was just really commanding performance. They did an aggressive tri-lane. They didn't mess around here. Doom got a lot of really straightforward kills in the safe lane. As soon as he hits 6, boom, gets the Darkseer kill. Happens another time. Puck, with a little bit of Earthshaker run mid, just completely limited what Dragonite could do. They forced him to run to rune spots because of fissure blocks all the time. And then just Mirana just transitioned to hit some really clutch arrows late game that guaranteed the win. Like,
yeah.
It's sometimes a little undervalued how good arrows can be because they miss a lot of the time, but if you hit them, it's like hitting a Pudge Hook. It's like, oh, this hero is broken.
Yeah.
If you can stun for 5 seconds when you have a gold advantage.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it was just havoc, I think. You combo that up with an amazing Earthshaker performance, I think, too, from Fly Solo.
Yeah, that guy played amazing.
Yeah.
I think he played the best on his team, and then I would give second place definitely to Puck.
There were some top-tier plays there. It was a pretty fun game to watch, albeit a bit short one. On a different level, I guess, than game number 1, which is if you're into those long games, that's your thing. That's
Not me. Screw long games.
Yeah, I can see why you wouldn't like that. We'll jump into a break. We do have our next series coming up. I can't see on the wall. I believe it's TNC versus Execration. I may be wrong.
There's some colors.
I'm
check.
Yeah, can you just
don't
real
turn
quick?
the camera on. It's going to look unprofessional.
Yeah, I'm going to just put it on right now while you're standing up.
All right. We are casting Mott and Purge, TNC versus Execration.
I was right, okay.
On BTS3.
We did not need to clarify. We are going to jump quickly into a break because I don't want to have another situation where I actually miss out on the lobby or something like that. So, guys, make sure you stick around here. BTS3, obviously go to the team page for the Manila Major Hub. Over on Twitch, you should be able to find it rather easily. If you want to watch all the other BTS action, of course, the BTS regular stream has, of course, the multicast, so you can check that out. But for Purge as well as Mont, we're going to head out. We'll see you in our next series.